on local machine. I'm audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So everyone tried with that installation of the Visual Studio and the Git,
Yes.
because that is required to have hands-on practicals for the Git. Even going forward, you that is required for the Terraform code as well. Let me know once screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible now.
I also forgot to you should have your GitHub account. So anyone new to this GitHub or already have account?
I have GitHub account.
Okay. So if you don't have GitHub account, you can definitely sign up. You can simply visit this github.com and you can just click on sign up and you can register yourself by entering your email address and further details. Okay. So once that is activated, then you can just start using it. So I will show you today how you can create the repository in that. So as you can see, I have multiple repositories you can create. So once you log into your GitHub account, you can simply just go to this new button here, Git repository, and here you can mention the repository name. So like demo, DevOps, repo, I will create here and it will check the available name. And here you have option like you want to keep this repository public or private. Obviously in the real time, we will not make it public, because if we make it a public, so everyone can access, and that is not a good practice. So better to have a private. Okay. Then if you want to add any description, you can definitely add like demo, DevOps, repo, testing, then private. And here you can add the readme file, which is normal the documents kind of, you can add then a description in that. So as you can see, the by default you will have a main branch. If you want to change, we can definitely change from the setting as well. But let me go ahead and create it. Okay, the repo creation process is very simple. As you can see, the repo has been created. Now under the repo, you can create the multiple branches. So I will show you that as well. When we work in the real-time project, we might create multiple branches there based on your task, whatever the task you will get in the project. So first you need to, as a best practice, you need to create the Jira ticket, because without Jira ticket, we will not work. Because if someone asks like what you have done in the quarter, so how you can show that, how on how many tasks you work. That is one aspect, but the other thing is like as a standard practice in the organization. So and the agile method, we need to follow the process. So that's why we need to work as a Jira ticket as well. So going forward, I will try to install the Jira as well if it has any trial period for 14 days or something. So we can try. Okay. As I have added the planning in this repo as a project management. daily stand-up calls, sprint planning, Jira workflow, team management, and the coordination like that. So we will see that end of the session batch. Okay. So someone join. Okay. So you can see by default we have a main branch. So this is a default branch. If you want to change it with another branch like master or naming or any other branch, so you can definitely go ahead and do that. But as a best practice, we never change main branch. We normally keep as it is. And out of that, we create multiple branches according to project. So task. So whatever the task we will get, first we can create the Jira ticket. Then based on that, we can create a branch name by giving the initial name feature, and then that's further steps. I will definitely show you that the Git branching strategy. But first, let's try to have the demo, so then you can understand better. So this is the question definitely you will get when you face any DevOps interviews: Git branching strategy and the CI/CD workflow. So now there are two things. One is branches. Second thing is tags. So it's a branch is basically your piece of codes where you whatever the code you are trying to deploy for the applications. So that code will be available in that. So if you want to create more branches from the master, so that will be exact copy of your master branch or main branch. So whatever the data available or code available in the main branch. Okay. So I will show you that as well. So as a best practice, we never directly do code changes in the main branch. So best practice, we can create additional branches there. So how we can create the branch? So let me show you that as well. So just click on view all branch and we can get the option here, main branch. Okay. So for now, we have only readme file here. Okay. So just to show you, like I want to add one sample file so you can get idea how it data copied from the main branch to feature branch. Feature branch is basically separate new branch, but we called as a feature branch working. So let me add in a sample simple file. Let's say this one, the text file. I'm just showing the graphical way, but in the real time, we never do graphical. I can show you the command line as well through the Visual Studio. Okay. So once that file added, you can add the commit here like sample file and just click on commit changes. So you can see now in main branch, we have a two files. One is default readme file and the second thing is we have a PEM file demo server 2. So now we want to create one branch here. Let me click on branch. And if just click on new branch, you can see the source branch name. So if you have a multiple branch here and you want to create from out of that, so you can select that as a source branch. So whatever the data available in that particular branch, that will be automatically copied to new branch name, whatever we are giving like feature slash demo. Okay. And the during the creation of this branch, the whatever the data available in the source branch, which is main branch, it will automatically copy to this new branch. So let me quickly create it. So if I go back to main repo now, so I can see now there are two branches, main and feature branch. So in main branch, we have these two files you can see here. If I switch to the new feature branch, so we will have this two files. It will automatically copy it. Okay. As an I'm visible. So now if you want to clone this repository to our local machine, because in the real time, you will not directly do any changes to the console base. OK, that is not a good practice. So always we can do from the local. So how we can do that in every either you use GitHub or GitLab or any other tools like Big Bucket or something, you will get this cloning option either from your SSH base or your HTTP base. OK, For SSH, you need to configure your SSH key. And we need to generate the key file. Either you can use puttigen file applications or any other tools to generate the private key and public key. So you need to add that public key in this option. If you click on this, okay, you will get that. But now just quicker option is HTTPS wala. So we can differently just copy this URL and go to your Visual Studio. Okay. So Visual Studio gives lots of plugins and the better UI. You can just manage your code. So what I can do is, let me close this current project. Let me create one separate here. For example, I have this sample file, GitHub project. So what I can do is I can just simply open the folder, just from the file, open folder, and just go back to that. Let's say GitHub project repo. You can select this folder and just open it. You can open any folder. You can just create manually on your local machine like GitHub project or repo project, and you can open from here. OK, so I have some list of folders, so that's why it's showing here. But if you don't have anything, so don't worry about that. You can see, you can open that folder blank. OK, so now let me open that terminal first. From this three dot, you can see that terminal option, or you can use shortcut Control Shift and this tilde button. OK, it will open as a prompt here. So Linux, as a DevOps engineer, Linux required just to we need to understand this prompting here. So that's why Linux is mandatory to have a knowledge as a DevOps engineer. So we can just judge like the what things going on the prompt command prompt. So now if we check the path, we can see I am in this E drive and with this path base, GitHub project and repo. So inside that we have a different existing repository which I already working. So just don't worry about that. So I can clone my new repo which I have created. OK, the command is git clone. So that is the reason yesterday I told like just install this git, otherwise you will get the issues like git command not found or something. So that is the reason you need to install git as well with the Visual Studio. Everyone tried that. Everyone install git and Visual Studio.
Yes.
Okay. So now the first command is to copy your remote repository on your local machine. The command is git clone. Then you need to paste this URL. How you can find? Let me go back once again so I can show you quickly. Just click on your repository. How you can find the repository? First log into your GitHub account. Then just click on this repository button. And here you will get that demo DevOps repo. OK. Inside that, you will get this option. Just click on that and you will get this HTTPS option. Just click on this clipboard to just copy this link and come back to your Visual Studio and just paste it. OK, and just press enter. If you have not installed Git properly, you will get the issue here, like Git not found or something. OK, so you can see the object has been copied successfully. If I ls now, I can see demo DevOps repo. OK, if I go to this way, I can see this repo copied successfully, and in that I can able to see the two files, readme and demo server 2. So now you need to enter into that particular repository. So as a best practice, what I can do now, instead of this showing all the folders, I can open only that particular project. So how you can open only demo DevOps repository I want to open in the Visual Studio, just to avoid unnecessary confusion with these other folders. From the file, click on open folder, go back to your particular location where you created this repository project, and just click on that and open only particular repository. Okay, and just click on open. So now you will get only that particular repository here. So it will avoid unnecessary confusion. So how I can open terminal now? Click on go three dots, terminal and new. If I open this repository file, so these are the two things. One is your repository, a remote repository and remote branch, and second thing is your this is local. Okay, because now the content in this file like readme.md file, you can see demo DevOps repo and demo DevOps. This is the description. In the remote repository, you can see same thing. Now, if I want to do any changes, like this is you can consider as your code based changes in your application, which is a feature we want to deploy. Let's say, for example. So if I want to do any more code changes here, like demo content for testing code commit or code based change. OK. Now these changes will not directly reflect to our remote location, remote repository. OK, because still we need to perform your other options, like you are adding this file, this content from the local, then git commit, and then finally git push. Only after that we will see these changes to here remote base. OK, so let me how you can check the status, like whatever the changes you have done. The command is git status, and you can see I have modified this readme file. OK, I have added this content. Let me add this command one by one so you can see the status. Then execute git status command. Okay, so that will show you what in which files you have made the changes. Now the second step is git commit. Sorry, not commit. Git add. The git add command has a two options. If you have a multiple file changes, like I am just adding the single file only here, the single line. Let's say you have a multiple files or folders you have added here, your lambda function, your docker file or something. So in that case, either you can use star, sorry, dot. So it will automatically add the all the files and folders. Or if you have any single file changes, the other option is like you can add particular file name here, like readme.md particular file, and just press enter. Okay, so it will be add. If you do again git status, you have committed this file. Okay, now if I want to push it, git status command will give you one more thing. You can see we are on directly main branch. Okay, just for the practical, I am just showing. So we are directly doing changes for the master main branch. So now git commit -m for message, and in the double quote you need to give the commit like first initial commit. Any description you can give here as a identifier, or you can see like demo batch first commit. Okay. The commit will add. Now the final option is git push. Okay, and just enter. So git push will basically your whatever the changes you have made on your local, it will automatically push that changes to a remote branch. Okay, you can see the status. This is the commit ID and that local your main branch that will merge into sorry push that changes into remote branch. Okay, if I do refresh now, see this line has been added. Okay, if you do if you consider as a traditional approach where 10 years back or something, even some of the company as well nowadays they use manual deployment like FileZilla base or something. If you aware about that process, FileZilla or any WinSAP tools they use as a FTP client and do their PHP based application deployment on the EC2 or any HTML base or something. That is the manual deployments. Okay, but nowadays in the DevOps methodology we never follow that manual deployments. So we do this source code management tool we use as a GitHub or GitLab repository basically, and then we use CI/CD pipeline, either Jenkins, GitHub Action, or your harness tools or any other GoCD tools or something. So like that. There are multiple tools available in the market for the CI/CD. Okay, but everywhere that is you require the first option is repository. Okay, because where you want to manage the source code. So that is the reason we require this repository hosting. So now this is the initial process. Now, any questions till now? How you can clone the repository on your local machine, then how to add any content, then how you commit, add files and mass push that changes to your remote branch. So any questions in this or anyone not able to understand? Should I repeat that again? Because that is the normal flow you need to perform in the real-time project if you want to add any code-based changes in your for your branches.
Sir, we clone main branch to GitHub main branch, na?
No, no, we have this repository, demo DevOps repo. In that we have this main branch by default when we create the repository, and we have created one more feature branch, but by mistakenly I have added this code changes into this main branch. So that will not be an issue. But when you're working as a real time, so I will show you that as well. Yes. The first process is you need to clone this repository on your local machine. Either you can select your feature branch or directly go to your main branch and just simply clone it on your local. That will not be a major issue. I just additionally create this feature branch here. So when you do hands-on practicals, you can just simply create, sign up your GitHub account, then create one repository. Okay, how you can create your repository? Just you will see this kind of UI. Click on this repository option, create one repository like this. Okay, then automatically you will get main branch. So then you can simply click on this code option and click on HTTPS option and just copy it. And in Visual Studio, you can use git clone command and that URL and just press enter. That's it. So it will automatically whatever the things available in the main branch, as you can see, you will get by default readme file. So that will be copied on your local machine. So before that, first decide your local location where you want to host this project. So as you can see, this is for the my E drive location. If you want to store your D drive or something or desktop, so you can definitely do that. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If I execute this git status command, sorry, the command is wrong. Git status, you will see here on which branch you are working. You can see I am working on the main branch. If I want to switch to the feature branch, okay, which one? Feature branch is feature slash demo branch. So how I can switch? Either graphical way, I can see option here. Are you able to see this? Or should I increase this font?
So please increase the font.
Where I can get that option. Okay. So now if you want to switch this branch from main branch to other branch, switch branch means basically changing the branch name. Okay. If you click on this, you will get whatever the branch available. You can see here origin feature demo branch. Okay. Which we have created. So we can just simply click on that and that will quickly change here. Okay. So we have recently changed one line on the main branch. On the readme file, we have added this content. Will that visible in feature branch? Can anyone guess? We have made changes in main branch, not in the feature branch. Okay. That's why it will not show that changes into feature branch. So whatever the branch you will create, both are independent things. Okay. So if you are doing changes in this feature branch, that will not automatically reflect to main branch. Let's say you have one more feature branch like feature demo branch 1 or 2 3. So they will not automatically sync with each other. Okay, that is just make a note. Until and unless we do merge. Merge means git merge, the option is there. Git merge option is basically if you want to do replicate changes from one branch to another branch. So in that case, we use that merging strategy, git merge. Okay. So one from the one branch change any changes like your code base or files that will be copied to another branch. But by default, that will not automatically sync. If you are doing changes any files or content in this branch, that will automatically not reflect to main branch. Okay. Until and unless you do git merge. I hope that is clear. So that's why if I switch to feature branch here, you cannot see that second line here. Okay. So now from the Visual Studio, we have changed that branch. If I execute the command now, git status. So on which branch I am working now?
Feature branch.
Feature branch. Okay. Because we from now as I shown the yesterday, we as a developer we cannot directly do any changes into the master branch. Okay. So first out of the master branch, we need to create the feature branch based on your Jira ticket. So if I want to do, I need to add any files. Okay. So this is the first process. First, create the brand new feature branch from the master branch or main branch. Then check out that master branch, your feature branch on your Visual Studio. How you can check out either from here, you can just simply click on this your feature branch or the command line is git checkout and give your branch name. Like let's say I am now on the feature branch. If I add here main branch, I will switch to main branch. If I do now git status, so which branch it is showing? I am on the main branch. Okay. So now switch back to our feature branch git checkout feature slash demo branch. Okay. I switch to main branch. If I do again git status, I am on the feature branch. Okay. So now what I can do is let me add one more file code changes from feature branch. In readme file, I am adding the content here, like whatever the logic you have. But just to for the demo practice, I am just showing the any content, simple line. Now in this file, I want to add one more files or folders. How I can add? Either I can simply create the folder here like src And in that src, I want to create one more file like your index.js, for example. And in that, I will add just hello world content. Just ignore that red marker. Just I'm adding the content here. OK. So what we have done is we have added the one line container content in this readme file. And I have added one folder. In that folder, one more index.js file I have added. OK. If I do git status now, the next step, once you added the content, you will see I have modified this file and I have added this src file. So now we have a multiple file addition here. How we can quickly add those all in the one command git add and dot button. So whatever the changes you have done adding the content or folders, it will automatically add with this option. Or second option is you can give particular folder name or file name. OK. Now if I do again git status, so you can see both has been added in the commit. So now I can do to add the message git commit -yum, then add the message like adding src folder for, let's say, lambda function. OK, just for the example, and just enter here. So that will be add the message as a commit, then git push. OK, so whatever the changes we have done, it will be easily copied to your remote branch. OK, so you can see it's successfully copied with this commit id. If I refresh now, are you able to see these changes? The src folder has been added, and in that readme file you can see this content code changes from feature branch. OK, and if I go to this src, I can see that index.js file, this hello world single line, right? So this is the process how you can like how you can do your code based changes and push to your remote branch. OK, so now going forward, the pipeline will be the second process we will see in the next phase of the session, where we do actual configuration of the CI/CD pipeline. OK, but this is the normal process which you need to follow as a code based changes. So now in feature branch we have added this src demo. If I switch to main branch now from this console base, that file will not automatically reflect. OK, you can see now in feature branch that src folder or readme file content has been not added. OK, so now how we can do these changes like merge the feature branch code changes will be merged to main branch. So you can see this option automatically here, compare and pull request. Just click on that. Till now, I hope everyone clear on this or any doubts. Anyone, just frankly ask me. Don't worry about the might be silly questions or something. But at least the my thought is like you should clear on this process. No question. OK, you can add the title here like merging merging feature branch into main branch. OK, or you can add description as well. It's optional one, so I'm just ignoring that and create the pull request. OK, once you raise the pull request, it will show like this. You can see pull request one here and the changes how you can let's say I am the code reviewer and you are the developer. You have done this your code changes deployed on the dev properly, and once you satisfied with that, you raise the pull request, or sometimes you called as a merge request mr. OK, so now I am the code reviewer. Now how I can identify what changes you have made in your branch. OK, so I can simply see this option file changes. I don't need to go each and every files to check what you have done. I can easily track from this option, file changes. So what we have done, I can easily find out here. Okay, that is the easy options. I don't need to go each folders and files to check what you have done. So whatever the changes you have made in your file, so it will be automatically detect here. Okay, file changes, file change. So as I can say it simply, in readme file you have added this line. It will indicate as a plus option. Okay, and also you have added this src index.js files and folders. In that you have added this content. Okay, and then once I am satisfied with your code changes, I can simply review these changes. I can add the comment like looks good, and I can submit the review. You can see I'm not able to approve because this is the one more security options which we need to follow in the real time, because I have written this code base in my repository, and myself I will not allow to approve these changes, right? So someone from my team, like our team lead or a tech architect, that person should approve this request. So that is the additional security features here in the GitHub or GitLab. So my changes I cannot approve myself, because that is not a good practice. If I am doing any wrong here and I am approving myself, so that is the no meaning of this having this code review process. So that is the reason you can see here the gray out button. Pull request authors cannot approve their own pull request. Okay, so I need to create one more user here. So is that possible or not? Let me check. But in real time, definitely we will have a different account user there, team members. But I just this is a free account I'm using. So let me check that how I can get that option. Anyone tried to add one more users here? Let me try this option add account, because this is a free tier community edition I'm using. Okay, I will test today how we can add, because this one as using the free tier account, so might be not possible directly. Okay, but this is the normal process. Once code review happy with this code changes, he can simply approve the request. Okay, just click on this approve and add the comment and just submit. Okay, so then your changes will automatically merge to your main branch. So what I can do is as another process, let me do some bypasses here. Okay, so without pull request, let me directly push. How we can do is like git merge command. Command line I can do that merge. Okay, I will not just for the showing the hands-on practical just demo. I will just without code review, I will go directly. Okay. But in the real-time project, you need to follow that process, code review process, raise the merge request or pull request, and then code review should review that your code. Okay. Let me try this way. Git. First, check the status. Your branch, feature branch is up to date with the remote branch. Okay. Git merge. Let me give this source branch name here. feature demo branch and main branch. Let me try this. Okay, so you can see now there is a git conflict happen. Okay, so this is the one more situation based questions you might definitely get in the into the interview. How to what is the reason to face the git conflict issue and how you can resolve that. Anyone face these interview questions or ever aware about this issues git conflict?
Yes, sir. I got this question from interview. How to get conflict resolved? So we need to resolve manually. Go to in that file and resolve it manually, line by line.
Yeah, the reason behind the why git conflicts occurred. So if two branches doing same changes in the same line, so in that case, Git will not understand which changes he need to take. Okay, so in that case, Git conflicts will occur. So as a developer, we need to decide like which changes you want to keep in that file, right? So we have a. I'm not getting this option here, so let me try. Either your Visual Studio Code, you can just resolve by going particular files, okay, and just do changes. That they will give the options by default. That is a UI based feature. Accept your changes or accept their changes. You will get both button here. As you can see, current changes and incoming changes. But in the UI base, you will get that easily option. Let me go to that pull request. I think I got there somewhere. This one, okay. This branch has conflict. Okay, you will get this manual option here to resolve that. If I click on this resolve conflicts, here I can see your changes and their changes. The simple button is there. Just you need to click on that. Okay. So let me show you one more time why it's happening. Let me go back.
Namdev, can you repeat these things?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just showing that as well. See, in feature branch, I have this readme file and demo server two files. Okay. Sorry, in the main branch. If I open one more time, this is the real time cases you might face sometimes this issue and even enter question as well. They will ask this question. I have two branches, main branch and feature branch, right? So in main branch, I have readme file and this demo server file. In feature branch, I have recently added the SRC folder and one line in the readme file. Which one? This one. Code changes from feature branch, but in the main branch, I have not that changes. I have the different changes in the readme file, main file. Demo content for testing code based changes. But at the same time, in the feature branch, when I'm doing the changes, in the second line, it has a different line. You know, code changes from feature branch. So that is the reason Git will not understand which changes he need to take as a final updation. So that is the reason we might get this kind of conflict issue. So in that case, to resolve that, we as a developer need to decide either this line should be updated or this line should be keep as it is. Okay, so that is the reason we will get as a conflict issue. So we can see here. If you want to keep this new changes from the feature, this is for the from the feature branch which I recently updated. So let me remove this content. No, this is not the case. Just give me 1 minute because in GitHub it will show the options accept your changes or their changes, but now it's not here. Let me refresh. Okay, and just mark is resolve. So I have from here basically I have removed the content which is conflicting for from the master main branch. So main branch we have this line. So I have just only removed here. Okay, because I want to keep the new changes which I have done in the feature branch. This branch. Okay, this line I want to keep. So that is the reason in here I have removed that file that line piece of code, and I want to keep this latest one which I just made the changes and just resolve that. Just click on commit merge. So now you can see the that conflict issue has been resolved. Let me check on the local as well. If I refresh one more time, we have directly resolved from the remote. So that's the reason. So let me remove this. Yeah, here the option is here now. You can see. I will show. I'm just showing the two options. One is from Visual Studio. You can able to resolve this manually, and the second option is from the UI base, which we have seen. How we can resolve that. We can just remove which one we want to keep that line, and which we don't want to keep that, just remove that one. Okay, from that file. So another process is same like from the local Visual Studio. I just open that in the editor, merge editor, and so that is the reason he's showing me two options. One is you are from the main branch, which is this line demo content for testing code base. If you accept these changes, so it will be accept main branch changes. Okay, not your changes like you just recently made. If you want to keep your changes like this code changes from feature branch, so you can just accept from here. Accept all changes from right. Okay, if I just click on that and complete merge and just commit. Okay, let me check status one more time. So if you push now, you can see that is two commits ahead that we need to push the changes. If I check one more time, now if I refresh the remote branch, which is the feature branch, this one, So you can see the recent commit and the timeline, like just recently I just pushed this code changes, and this code changes it happen. Now if I try to, let me see, merge request again, already up to date. Let me check main branch as well. This is the tab for the main branch. Let me refresh. I think it's not reflected. So I am in the feature branch now. Let me add the commit. By just adding the like branch one here, git commit. Before that, git add we need to execute. Then git commit to add the commit message. Press enter here. Then just do git push. So this new line changes that will be reflected. So this changes has been pushed. If I refresh feature branch, you can see now the branch one is successfully added here. I just add the space here because you are able to see now all the content in the single line. So I just added the space here. So that's why he will see the separate line. Let me do one more time, like git add, git commit message, and your git push. So if I do refresh now, it should be in the separate line. Okay. So this is the code changes I have just made in this readme file. Let me try one more time to merge these changes into the master branch. Git merge feature slash demo branch into main branch. Okay. Why it's showing already updated?
I think we are, sir, in Visual Studio, not in main branch. First, we have to take all branch data into main branch in Visual Studio. Git checkout.
See, I'm in the feature branch now. So when we do git merge, it will automatically do your all the changes will reflect into the main branch. So what I can do is Let me create one more branch here. How you can create? Just click on branch, new branch. Let's say feature demo, or just simply feature branch. Okay. From which one you want to create? From the main branch, for example. Just create a new branch. So now that branch has been created. Let me close this one. I think this is the separate window for the commit. Basically, Git conflicts occur when two branches changes happening on the same line of the code in the file. So in that case, we need to resolve that manually by either we want to keep any any one changes from the files. Our source, the target one, then it will be resolved, and you can do again git push. Check the git status. I am in this feature branch. If I want to switch to this new created branch, either we can use checkout command from the command line, or from the UI base, you can just simply change from here. Feature demo branch. Okay. So two option is there. The command line option is git checkout feature branch, which we have created. Okay. Did something missing? Feature branch. Let me fetch. So what is the purpose of this git fetch? Sometimes we have created remotely the new branch, which is the feature branch, but that is not reflected in our local Visual Studio, right? So to make that changes, fetching that changes, we can use this command git fetch. So now you can see the new feature branch has been locally synced. Okay. If I do now checkout, you can see now it successfully switched to new branch. Those things here. Also, I have just add all the Linux command which I shown yesterday. So this all example I will add here. So don't worry about that. But this is the something like you might get in the interview questions. What is the difference between that conflict issue? Definitely you will get that for the Git. Then the how to this some of the commands you they might ask. What is the difference between git fetch, git pull, and other frequent command like git clone, git commit, git push the changes, git add. Then there are few other command as well. I will add in the documentation, okay, which is helpful in the as part of the interviews. So now, if I check git status, we are on the feature branch now, right? And in the feature branch, which data we will get, whichever available in the main branch. And main branch, which data is available? If I click on this demo, main branch, we have only two files, readme file and demo server files. Okay. Same thing we are able to see here. So in readme file, let me try to add something here. Demo content for which conflict, let's say, for example, I'm modifying this second line. Okay. to generate that git conflict issue one more time. Let me try git status. You can see with the git status command, you can see on which branch you are working. You can see here on this feature branch, then which file you have added. Okay, you can see the modified here. Now the second command is git add. Either you can give dot or you can give the particular file name. Then git commit to add the commit message as a description. Adding line of code to generate git conflict. Press enter here. Okay, you can see the status one file change, insertion and deletion. Then git push. Okay, so now the second line in the readme file we have just modified get demo content for git conflicts. So let's go to the remote branch for the main branch. Sorry, we have added in the demo feature branch. So let me switch this one feature branch. See demo content for git conflict. Okay, if I switch feature branch, so that changes will not reflect here because still we need to merge it. As I said, by default it will not reflect. Okay, because both every dependent branch are separate, they will not interconnected. I mean the not automatically sync. The real-time project process is like we can raise the merge request like a pull request. Then the architect or team lead who want to review this code changes, he can just review and just approve that request. Okay, then we will get that option to merge that changes. So today I will try to create one more account which is the real base like enterprise or something. If I have a trial base, so I will show you that what exactly we will do in the real time. Okay, because I am using the community edition now, so the features is slightly changed. I will try today, so the next week I can show you that exactly, but the process is similar like how we can do code changes, adding the files folders, then content, then git status check to check the status, then git add, git commit message and git push. Okay, this is the normal flow to add any changes into the remote branch. Okay, this practice we are just trying to create the git conflict issue because this question you definitely get in the real time, and how we can resolve that and how we can merge again to main branch. So that's practical we are just trying to check. So let me try to push these changes to main branch. Let me check if I have a manual option here. Create new branch, create brand, checkout. Okay, option is not there. In settings, okay. We can try from the command line, no issues. Let me check the exact command. I think that is the command we are trying, but still let me check one more time. Or I can simply check here. So in the real-time cases, definitely we can use IDE tool, which is Visual Studio. So there is one more tool which some of the time people use, developers. Tortoise, Tortoise Git. Anyone heard about this? Tortoise Git. This also has very good UI options. So whatever we are doing the command, then we can simply do from this tool as well. Tortoise Git. Let me show you some images. So like we can directly UI based, we can directly do code changes, then right click adding the files, and we can simply push it to remote. So you don't need to worry about the command line or remembering the command options. So from the graphical point of view, you will get all the options there. Adding the commit message, then just do git push, fetch, pull something. Okay, graphical way you will get that. You can definitely try this tortoise git. It's similar to this Visual Studio, but Visual Studio has a major one which most of the people use everywhere. Okay, let me try. First, we can check out git checkout main. Let me take a pull. Pull is basically fetch. We have seen git fetch. If you do git fetch, it will whatever the changes newly new any branch added in the remote repository, that will be sync into the our local machine in the Visual Studio Code. Okay, but git pull is whatever the changes happen in the remote branch, that only particular branch changes will reflect into here in the local. Okay, because I just check out to the main branch here, and I'm just doing the git pull. So if any additional changes happen in the main branch, because in the project we might have a different developers, right? So in that case, if that developer's second developer added his changes to the main branch, so that will I will get that changes automatically if we execute this git pull. Okay, I just already updated, so that is the reason he's saying already up to date. So now I can simply execute git merge and the branch name. Git merge. What is the branch name? Feature branch. Let me check. If there are no conflicts, Git will perform a fast forward. Means it will merge properly. Okay, there are no issues configured, so it's added the changes. Let me check now if that content has been added or not. Main branch. Let me refresh. Now I can do git push. Okay. See, if there are no any conflict happens, the changes will reflect and merge request happens successfully. So from the feature branch, we have added this code changes. So now what we can do is one more practicals. Let me check out git checkout feature branch. I want to switch. Checkout means changing the branch name, like switching. I am in the feature branch now. If I want to confirm to git status, I am on the feature branch. Let me add the folders here. Like let's say demo folder. In demo folder, let me add any sample file. Let's say index.js and just adding the hello demo folder. And I'm just changing this code. OK, so this time I'm just doing the change. I'm just adding the demo folder and in that file. So if I do now same process git add dot, so it will add these changes git commit hyphen yum commit message like adding demo folder. Now git push these changes to remote branch. OK, so you don't need to worry about any manual process here. It will happen automatically. So git push happens successfully. So if I go to remote base now, let me switch to feature branch. So you can see in the feature branch, I have added that demo folder and in that index.js file. OK, so I want to reflect these changes or sync these changes to main branch, because in the main branch it's not reflected yet. If I refresh now, in main branch that created folder is not added. OK, so for that we need to do that same process again, like git checkout main. We need to switch to main branch, then do git merge feature branch. OK, this is the bypass process like normal without having a code review, because as we have tried with the code review process, but I have single accounts in the community edition. I am not able to add one more account here. So that is the reason as an author, I am doing the code changes. I am by default it will not allow to approve myself. OK, so I will try that trial based license version to show you that exactly. But the other process is like this is the process now how we can merge one branch changes into another branch. This is just I'm showing the changes for the main branch, like I'm adding the changes from the source feature branch to main branch. But even in the other cases, if you have any other requirements like one feature branch changes you want to sync to another feature branch, so you can follow the same process, like check out that sync branch and do this git merge changes command. And graphical option is there, but in this UI I'm not able to find that. So here you can directly do that process as well if you're not aware about this command line process. OK, now I am check out in the main branch, and here I can do this git merge feature branch, whichever the branch you want to merge. If there are any conflict happen, it will show here, and you need to resolve manually which changes you want to keep, as simple as. And then if I check again the status, there is one commit happen and we need to push to make it publish your changes. OK, local commits. If I do git push now, so it's successfully completed. So if I go to main branch now and let me refresh, see in the main branch, I can able to see that demo folder and that index.js file. So let me make a note of these commands which we have executed. Or simply I can mention here merge request. First check out main branch, then take a git pull to fetch the latest changes. Okay, then do git merge feature branch name, which branch you want to merge into master, and finally git status to check the status and git push. Okay. Any doubts till now? कहीं कुछ बाउंस लगा क्या? Ganesh?
Sir.
Do you want me to revise again or is that clear?
Uh, Something is getting clear, but whenever I watch again the videos, I can tell
Okay.
all the
Okay.
things.
Anyone's others? Okay, this is the one process we have seen, like we are creating the branch from this UI base. Now one more approach I want to show you, like which I do personally in the current project. So let's say you have fresh clone your copy of the repository. Okay. Or let me show you that as well. This is the one of the example. So whatever you have seen now, I was creating the branch from here graphical way. Okay. Now what I can do is I can create the branch from the locally. First, I will create the branch in the local. Then I will add the code changes and I will push into the remote branch. Okay. If I execute the command git branches, the git branch is not there. Sorry. Yeah. So we have a three branch as of now. Main branch, okay, and feature demo branch and feature branch. Now I want to create one more new branch. Okay. So now this time I will not go directly this way, console base. Okay. Here from here as well within the Visual Studio I can create. How you can create? If you click on your branch, you will see here option create a new branch, right? Or create a new branch from. If you want to create fresh branch, you can just select this option. If you want to create new branch, but from the either existing feature branch or main branch, you can just select this one. Let me click on this. Okay. Let me give the name like this time I will create bug fix branch, bug fix branch. Or first I need to select which branch I want to create. Yeah, I will create the branch from the main branch. Let me select that. And now I can give the branch name like bug fix branch. Okay. bug fix branch, then provide a new branch name and press enter to confirm. Okay, press enter. The bug fix branch has been created. If I execute the same command again, I can see bug fix branch created, but this is only the local branch. Okay, just make a note. This will not reflected here until and unless we do all the process like git commit, adding the files, then git push. Okay, if I see here, that bug fix branch still not reflected. Okay, because that is the local branch. So now what I can do is, let me check with the git status command. These commands are clear, right? Which command we need to use, everyone?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes.
So git status, now you can see we are on the bug fix branch. So in bug fix branch, what I can do is, let me create one simple file like bug fix file, for example. Okay. In that file, I can add any sample content, sample file for bug fix. So these are the different things I'm just showing how you can manage. So now if I can check again git status. So what I have done in the bug fix branch, I have added this file and I have added the single line here. Okay. So you can see here the modification. If I do git add dot, it will add automatically. You can see this new file. Then let me add the commit message, git commit hyphen yum, and this I will give you this exact steps and the command in the documents. So don't worry about that. I have already completed with this Linux command, so I will share with you today. And once this is completed with the kit, I will give you that as well. So there are different things as well as part of the intro process. I will those add in the documentation. Okay. There are a few more commands which you can at least theoretically need to clear, because sometimes we need to use or not use. That's depend on the issues in the real time we face. Added bug fix file, that commit has been added. Now I can do simply git push. Okay. Or sometimes git push command is simply you can use definitely to push your code changes. Another option is like you can specifically mention your branch name as well, like git push origin, your branch name, bug fix hyphen branch. So you can see now the new branch which is properly synced to your remote branch. Let me refresh. If I go to branch, just select that. You can see now bug fix branch. And if I open that, I will get that file as well. Okay. So this is the process, two process how we can create the new branch and how we can do the modification. So let me give you one more context here. Git commits. Every time we adding the commits, okay. So the feature benefits of having the source code management, which is the Git repository. So let's say today you have added any feature in your Git repository or any changes code related to code base, okay. And next day you have added one more any changes like that, okay. Now, if suppose you want to see yesterday what changes I have done, so that tracking also the Git repo maintains. So you can see whatever the comments we have added, it will track all the changes. Let's say if I do this, if I want to check this one, you can see the commit ID here. If I want to check in this commit ID what changes I have done, so you can check as well. Okay, this will keep as a backup file for every changes. So that is the additional benefits. Sometimes you have by mistakenly added any line of the code or something and you want to take it from the backup. So simply you can go to your git commit section and you can copy whatever changes you have done and you want to get from that code base. Okay. So this will as it's a source code management and the version control system, it will track all the changes commit wise. Okay, so you will get use as a backup for that. So whatever the code changes you have done, either folder or files or something, it will keep all the records here, and you can just use as a reference. The second use cases is like if someone asks like let's say for example tomorrow yesterday which changes you have deployed. So you can go to your commit ID and you can just check like what you have done yesterday. That use cases also you can just verify that from there. Now, if you want to delete any particular feature branch, so ideally it's not recommended from the console base, but in the code review process, once your code review properly completed and merged into the master branch, there is a options to tick. So delete this source branch, which is the feature branch, after merging successfully. So once you approve that, which is done by the code review mostly, okay, not us. So once that process completed, your whatever the code changes you have done, that will merge into main branch properly, and your source branch will got deleted. Okay, because unnecessary keeping the multiple branch will not be a feasible options or not a good practice. So we can delete the older branch, which is really not required. Okay, because your every changes merge into the main branch. So if you want any reference, you can just take from the main branch. So no need to having or keep the older branch. You can delete that. If you want to delete manually, so let's go to this particular branch. Let's say bug fix branch, and from the setting you will get that option. There is a one section danger zone. This one here you can get that option. Delete this repository. Sorry, not repository. I want to delete the branch. Where I can get that? Let me check. To delete the repository, completely repository, you can get that option from the danger zone. Okay, let me clear. Once you click on that branch option, you will see in the three dots. Let's say bug fix. I want to delete.
Namdev,
Yes, yes, yes.
um, the thing is that this is a very critical applications, and how we can give the permissions to who is watching, who is having the which access and other things.
The person who has admin access of this Git, particular project, so that person can give the permission. As I said, this is a community edition, so that option I am not able to see. But tomorrow, even today, I can just try with this enterprise edition. So in that things I can show you how we can. But there are levels like developer access, maintainer access. So maintainer means we can give the all the permissions. So that's we normally avoid. The only developer access you should provide.
Okay.
Yeah. If anyone want only read only access, that level as well available there in the options. But that can be managed by the person who has the admin level access of that particular project. So he can do that settings. Let me delete this. And refresh. If I go back to this repository and that branch has been deleted. Okay. Security options. This is for the GitHub action. We will try the later how we can set up the GitLab pipeline, GitHub pipeline. Or you can just play around this like in setting which options you will get. Like this is the rule set you can create. There is one more rules as well. You can configure like no one can directly push their changes to main branch or master branch. There is options you can configure. We have done that in current project. So no one can directly push your changes or their changes to main branch because that is not a good practice. So that you can add. Let me check the options is there. You can see lots of option is there rule as a rule set. If I add here branch name and we include all branch, let's say. Okay, you can see no add this kind of options. Required pull request before merging. So that means directly you cannot merge. You need to have a code review process there. Require approval, yes. If I do require approval, yes here. So one person at least should be approve that your code changes. So these things rule set we need to create in the real time. So for that you should have a maintainer access. Then you will get this setting options there because these are the good practice to have in the project. No one can directly push their changes to master branch and no one can directly merge their changes to main branch. Okay, so that's required approvals. You can configure this kind of rules here. So there are lots of rules here. You can just add like commit push to matching reference must have verified signature. There is one more options, but in I think this is the community edition, so that's why I'm not getting. Anyways, we can try that. Okay, the enterprise one. In real time, we configure the webhooks. Anyone heard about this webhooks?
Yes, whenever we commit or any code changes, it will automatically reflect to Jenkins CI/CD pipeline.
Yeah, so it will ultimately trigger the pipeline. So
Trigger pipeline.
that is for the only dev environment, okay, not for the production one. Once we need to configure the webhooks for basically for the Jenkins, let's say. So let me add this point in the Jenkins topic so I can show you webhook configuration. So as a best practice, when we do the any pipeline configuration, so for the dev environments, we normally deploy automatically. Okay, so in that case, we can configure this webhook integration. So in that case, as a developer, let's say I'm the developer, I'm doing any changes with that particular branch. So it will automatically trigger your pipeline, but only for the dev environment. So test environment and production environment, we will not make automatically deployed. Okay, because let's say if any changes I have made, but that is not a visible or any issues it has. So in that case, we will it will automatically deploy to the integration or your test environment, and that is not good practice because you might miss anything when we do code changes, right? And every time it will be whenever we do code commits, it will trigger the pipeline. That is not a good practice for the test or production environment. But for the dev environment, definitely as a development environments, we can do number of time deployments and do the QA checks there, whatever the features we are working. So that also we can see. The one more thing, the questions you might get in the Git branch, explain the Git branching strategy. Anyone face these issues? Sorry, interviews question. Git branching
Yes, I
strategy.
have this question. Which Git branching strategy you used?
Yes, yes. Because as I said, Let me open that PDF file. So I have prepared this branching strategy, which we follow in the earlier project. So normally this is for the GitLab you can consider, but this repo hosting you can anything like your Bitbucket or this GitHub or GitLab. Okay, don't worry about that. But everywhere we have a this master branch, which is as you can see main branch or master branch. Okay, which we can call as a master branch. Okay, so whenever do any code changes, so we cannot directly push changes to master branch as we have seen in the practical as well. So first we need to create the feature branch out of the master branch. This is the flow. Then developer will perform their code changes as we have adding the files and the content in that files like that. You can consider this as a code based changes for your applications, maybe your UI based application or any backend. Okay. Then it will trigger the pipeline. Then in the pipeline, we will have a different process like you're building the building stage, your Sonar Cube checks, like code quality checks. So for the UI based applications, developer will define the one logic in that code, like code coverage for the to maintain the code quality standards. So that is the task for the UI developer that they mention in the logic. Okay, that is part of the CI/CD pipeline. So once that is requirement match, then your build will pass. Okay, the one build once build is passed, it will trigger to second stage, which is the Sonar Cube checks. Sonar Cube is basically code quality checks. The code quality will check, and he will generate the reports. Okay, I have already mentioned in the next section when we do the CI/CD jobs. So we can see that as well. It's an open source tool, so we can definitely integrate that in the CI/CD because these are the recommended things. That's why I have added all the stuffs here. Sonar cubes. Okay, it is the static code analysis tools. Sonar cube. You can definitely refer in the documentation if you want to check Sonar cube. This is the tool, code quality, security, static analysis tool. He will check your code quality and he will give in the percentage report. Okay. If someone asks, can you please provide the SonarCube reports for particular projects? So you can log into that SonarCube UI applications. This is a URL base. Okay. UI base. And you can fetch, search the particular project. Let's say for the front end project, you can just search there with the name and you can provide the report. You will get that option there. Okay. That is the different thing. So now as a branching strategy, once build successfully completed, then the SonarCube process will happen. Okay, then for the dev environment, it will be automatically deployed because we have configured this webhook integration. Okay, automatically take that options and trigger the pipeline. So once that is done, then developer will put a pull request, which is we normally just we have seen merge request. Then whatever whoever the available your code reviewer, either your team lead or a tech architect or lead. So he will review your code. Once he is satisfied with that, he will merge your request. Okay. And ultimately your feature branch will merge into master branch. Then with the master branch, you can deploy your code changes on the test environment. In that after deployment completed, QA will perform your checks. So it might be there are different checks in the test cases like unit case testing and the other test cases they will do. That is the responsibility of the QA team. Okay, but we need to inform them like we have deployed the successfully, can you please verify this code changes. Okay, so whatever the strategy the QA team will follow, they will do their job. Once they will confirm yes, all the function the feature changes are working fine, then we can create the release ticket, production release ticket in the Jira. Then we need to mention the all the things there, like from the which branch you are doing the deployments, what is the timing and what is the rollback strategy. Let's say you are doing this deployment, but if something goes wrong with any feature changes or anything, so how you can roll back to the last working stable version. So that also strategy you need to mention in the production release ticket. Okay, so it's again follow the different project to project how they maintain the production release process. Okay, but I am just explaining the generic way. Then there will be production release cycle, which If you are dependent to other teams, then you need to inform like you are doing the deployments. So you might get any interruption in your project applications if they have a dependent on your applications. Okay, then you will do the production release there. And apart from this, there might be another cases which I have not included here. Like let's say even after the deployments happen, in after the then production release happen, then if the QA team identify any bug fix, any bugs in your production system, in that case, you can create one more branch, bug fix out of this production. Then whatever the fixes you need to modify in your bug fix branch. Okay, and again you can follow this process like merging the pull request and the code review happen. Then again that code review will once code review completed, that will merge into master branch, and again you can just do the production deployment. So branching wise, master branch is your default branch, main branch. Feature branch for your addition to any new feature branch in your applications. Then bug fix branch you can use for any bug fixes. Okay, there is like one more things like a hot fixes. It's depend the naming convention to the project to project, but hot fixes required. Let's say you have any urgent things in your production issues. If any urgent issues happens and you need to create resolve that, then you can create the hotfix branch as well, and you can do all the changes there to fix that, and you can do the deployment again. So this is the generic process as a branching strategy you can follow. Just 1 minute. Any doubts in this? So this question might get in the interview, how we can explain the branching strategy or which branching strategy you follow in the project.
Could you please repeat, sir, after dev environment? I couldn't understand below last part.
Yes, definitely. So we have a default branch, which is master branch. Out of master branch, we created the feature branch. Okay. As a developer, we will perform our code changes related to our application code, whatever the feature we are going to changes. Like if it's a application changes, your developer will perform their addition to any features. Once that is committed and pushed to that feature branch, then your pipeline will trigger as we have configured the webhook integration. Okay, in the real-time cases. So that will automatically deploy, sorry, trigger your CI/CD pipeline. Then as a CI/CD pipeline, we will have a different stages like build, your sonar cube checks, and your other. Okay. Then once build pass successfully, then it will move to next step like sonar checks. Okay. If build fail, then again it will route to your then a developer will need to check in the CI/CD logs. I will show you that in Jenkins how we can check the logs. So if your build failed, you will get the error in that log file. Okay. So based on that error, developer we again need to do that code changes, and again he need to push that changes. Okay. Once build successfully passed, then it will move to the next stage, sonar cube. In sonar cube checks, let's say that build fail. So again, developer need to check the logs why it's failed. Maybe sometime code coverage requirement not match, like if the code coverage quality define the 75%, but it will not matching like 65% something, then the build will fail. Okay. So developer will need to take care in this case. He can just do whatever the changes respectively he need to do. Again, he just push the changes. Okay. Then once build pass, SonarQube checks pass, it will move to your dev environment. Once dev environment deployment completed, your QA team will perform the checks, testing. Then once QA team give the sign up like yes, everything is working fine, then you can raise a merge request as a developer. Then code reviewer will review your code changes. Once he is satisfied with your code changes, he can approve. Otherwise, he can comment or your on your code review options. Like you just you have added this wrong command here, or any wrong feature or any variable something. So based on that, okay, developer will do that code changes. Okay. Once the code reviewer satisfied with that changes, he can just simply approve and merge that changes to master branch. Then from the master branch, we can deploy on the test environment. Okay. Once test environment completed, then QA team will perform their checks like whatever the feature changes we have added. That but in between you need to track in the Jira workflow as well, because in the real time we will get the Jira ticket, right? So once you want to assign this ticket to for the QA checks, that ticket you need to assign with the name of the QA team, whoever the working to verify this changes. Okay, in the Jira. Once that is completed and the QA team will give the sign up, like everything is working fine, you can go ahead with the production release. Then you can go for the production release process. And in the production release process, as a Jira ticket, you need to create and you need to add all the required steps there, like what changes you are doing, then what is the rollback strategy, and from which branch you want to roll back if something goes wrong with the production release. So that also you need to define in the Jira ticket. And if any other dependent team other team dependent on this your applications, so you need to inform them as well, like we are doing the deployment on this so and so timing, you might get the interruptions. That is part of the notification system. Once deployment completed, so as a DevOps engineer we need to monitor your either pod status or something, or if it's a ACS container, you need to check the logs if there any failure or something. Okay, in that case, we will see the complete flow in the CI/CD pipeline. But as a Git branching strategy, you need to follow this kind of way. If any bug fix comes, you can create the bug fix branch. Or if any production system, if you get any issues and you want to fix, you can create the hotfix branch there. Is that clear or any other doubts?
Clear, sir.
So sometimes people might follow the different strategies, like for the production release. Okay, they might create one the tag out of this main master branch. So where I can show that, let me show you that option. Tag is basically the
सर
snapshot of
ऑल्सो
your
विद
code
द
base.
सोनार क्यूब की जगह पे दूसरा कोई यूज होता है क्या?
Anyone use anyone? Because mostly I've seen Sonar Cube. Desktop Sonar Cube.
और ये सोनार क्यूब में सर कोड क्वालिटी कितना परसेंटेज होना चाहिए, वो कौन डिसाइड करता है?
नहीं, जो कोड कवरेज होता है ना, वो यूआई डेवलपर जो प्रोजेक्ट डिफाइन रहता है बेसिकली, जो भी आपका आर्किटेक्ट रहता है ना, या फिर कभी कभी क्लाइंट भी बोलता है कि कोड कवरेज जितना होना चाहिए. When we work in the project, we will have the architecture from the client side as well. So they also inform us like code coverage should be this percent, like 75% or 85% something. So our UI developer will write that logic in the code base. That is the responsibility of the developer. That developer can define in the code base. I think there are lots of tools, but mostly which you guys also heard about this. Mostly people use SonarQube. It's a open source platform, so we can definitely try with this integration. If I give you the SonarQube reports, let me check any screenshot. SonarQube reports. So it will be, you can see something like this percentage wise. And I think jest also there as a normal jest coverage. Sometimes people use this as well, jest, for the code coverage report. See this kind of report you can get. That will available in the pipeline itself. So this way you can just see the pass or fail and the percentage. We will see Sonar Cube integration in the, let's see, in the CI/CD pipeline.
Sir, interviewer asked me one more question.
Mhm.
Uh, just like if we want to take 2 or 3 month back logs uh, in Git, so how can we get?
Deployment logs or
Yes, yes, deployment, just like code commit and add commit, that kind of log.
code commit log you can see from here. I just shown you, right? If you click on this commits, you can see whatever the changes we have done in past.
From Visual Studio, Git logs.
So, there are a number of commands for the Git. If I executed the Git logs, let me check. As we have not sufficient data, so might be we are not getting. But with the UI base, like definitely we will have access of this in your project, GitLab or GitHub. So from there we can get that.
Okay.
In Visual Studio, as we don't have data, so we cannot check now. Did you try that in your project?
Not in project, but the interview asked me this question.
Okay, tomorrow I will check in the project. If
Okay.
that how many list of logs he will show. Okay, because command line I never try, but graphical way you can easily track what changes you have done through the this commits. And every commits you will get the unique commit ID. That is for the reference, and you can see all the changes here.
Yes.
I will check tomorrow from the Visual Studio. By the IDE tool, most of the things people are use Visual Studio, but there are number of tool as well like Intel, IntelliJ something. Yeah, this IntelliJ idea. And there are one more thing, Web Storm as well, but I think this is license one, not Web Storm. Web Storm. This one as well. But Visual Studio is pretty good. You can see lots of plugins are there. If you want to add any plugins related to any other features, you will get the options. Let me close this. Or you can see any number of documentation like how to use the Visual Studio. You will get lots of better feature. It's very simple to use. You will see one option there to install any particular plugins. It might be somewhere. I think here extension. Okay. Any other questions till now? So there are multiple other commands as well. I will add all the relevant command here as a part of the documentation. Interview point up, and I will add the short description there just to prepare for the interviews. So let me check quickly, try and press features.
Sir, I have some urgent work, so can I lift, sir?
Yeah, definitely. Others,
Okay.
should we continue for the Jenkins installation or can we see in the next week? How you want?
Take it about next week.
Yeah, sure. We will see then Jenkins installation and all the relevant configuration master slave architecture in the Jenkins.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Also,
All
Namdev, if just like you have given the some idea of the GitHub, one of the video you have shared, just like same things. If you can share other videos for the Jenkins, it will be easy to understand some of the things. So request you do.
yes, yes, definitely. All right then.